Good evening and welcome to a brain-feasting episode of McMuscles Midnight Massacre. And yeah, brain-feasting because we are talking about...
Zombambadoos.
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 I forget which one you said. You said a really good one. But Dawn of the Dead specifically.
Yeah.
We have a lot to say about this one because it was like a zombie movie that we never watched together, but we both really liked.
We both meant a lot to us, I guess.
And because you had a lot of early zombification early in your movie watching career as a child.
As a young child, my father decided when me and my sister were like 5, I don't know how old we were, that he was just gonna desensitize us to horror movies because he loves horror movies. Okay. So the first movie I ever remember watching was the original Night of the Living Dead, like the black and white.
Oh, the black and white one? I thought it was like the 80s one.
No, the original.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yeah, okay.
And, like, there's still some gore in that.
Yeah.
So, like, when gory shit was happening as a young Crankina, I was just like,
Crankina.
I don't know, I don't even remember being scared, but I just remember him, like, pointing out how fake it was, and it's done with fake blood, and it's hilarious, look, haha. And we were just like, oh, okay, I guess that's funny, and,
that's, like, entertaining.
Yeah, so we were never scared of horror movies growing up, which I didn't realize not everyone was like that. We'd have our slumber parties and want to rent, like, Halloween and all these stuff, and I'd have friends be like, oh, no, I'm gonna be scared, I'm gonna have nightmares, I can't watch it. I mean, my sister was just like, what are you saying to me right now? Like, who doesn't watch horror movies?
I wasn't allowed to watch the horror movies.
That's so weird to me that people didn't allow their kids or people didn't want to watch.
It's because my sister was a narc and would tell.
But does she like horror movies?
No. Well, I mean, now she does, or like before. But as a kid, she was like, Matt wants to rent that horror movie, and
my sister's a narc.
I know, that's why I said she's a narc.
No, we were always
I think she watches these videos too, so...
Well, my dad does too, so I want to say, like, shout out to him for like, you know, making us love horror movies, and that love just sort of never went away, so I watched, like, all of the Romero movies when I was younger, and, I mean, yeah, like I said, my best friends to this day, they won't watch, like Toya, she's like, thank God you found a husband that likes watching these with you, because I can't. When we lived together, she's like, I haven't watched one since then. I'm like, okay, you know, like, it's not for everybody, I guess, but
like,
it's for me.
At the same time, like, zombie movies were not a thing when I was watching movies in, like, the late 80s or early 90s. Like, there wasn't that, there was, like, the occasional remake or whatever, but, like...
It wasn't Remake City, like, how it was once, I feel, this movie.
Yeah, because Remake City started after this almost, which was like 2004?
It was 2004. The original was 1978.
Okay.
So, you know, but again, this movie came and, I don't know, I feel, and it just kind of started the oversaturation, or it was at the beginning before the oversaturation of zombie movies and zombie remakes, and like the next 10 years after this was just like zombie freaking overload, right? We're still kind of in that era.
That many zombie movies.
No, not like every 5 seconds.
Wait, one just came out.
Yeah, it's on DVD. Like, I mean, but this, we weren't sick of it, so I don't know, you watched it a bunch.
It had a bit more impact when it came out because, like, yeah, it wasn't in this hugely, like, populated, like, subgenre of zombie horror movies, and specifically zombie horror movie remakes.
Yeah. I can't even talk about some of the bad zombie movies I've seen.
Yeah, we watched a couple ourselves together, but like...
Okay, leave House of the Dead alone, okay? But, yeah, I mean, like you were saying to me, like, you've watched this movie a lot, too. Like, I've watched it so many times.
This came out in the theaters, and I remember really liking it and just going, oh, that was hardcore, that was awesome. And I even bought it on DVD, like, afterwards, and I'm like, and I would put it on in the background of me, like, doing stuff, like me drawing or jerking off, or whatever I was doing, and, it was just like background noise, and I'd watched it so many times, but then I stopped after a number of years because whatever, I got tired of it. Stopped putting DVDs into my game consoles anymore. And then we were both like, well, let's watch that. We never watched it together, and I was wondering, I wonder if this still is, like, not if it still holds up. I wonder if this still can have any sort of impact, because I've seen so many zombie movies since then. Like, can it actually still entertain me? And that's even why we're doing it. And like I think we can both say it still kind of does it.
It does, but I don't know how much of that is nostalgia from us both watching this movie a lot and having fond memories of watching it. And it at the time did so many things new and different that were like revolutionary, I guess, because there weren't that many zombie movies.
And like different to stuff that the first one did as well, not just like different of itself. It's just like actually, because that's what I think that's what remakes should do. It should be similar in setup to like the original movies, but have some different shit going on.
Even if
it doesn't work out, at least try some different things.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, the fast zombies is all I'm gonna say. Running zombies, like. Unless I'm wrong, which I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, but I feel like this was the first movie to do that.
It was either this or 28 Days Later, but I think we were saying 28 Days Later came later.
And I feel like, up until this point, yes, zombies are scary because they're trying to eat your brains and whatever, and if they bite you, you're gonna turn into a zombie, but like, they were just... with their little scuttle, like little meandering, like slow walking.
It was always more about their numbers.
Them. Yeah, like horde or whatever.
Or your group is such a bunch of idiots that they just bumble themselves into
a zombie.
Zombie.
It usually happens when it's a person they know or a loved one, and they're like, "No, I can cure you with hugs," and then they like get bitten. My love.
Hopes and prayers. Just trying to solve the zombie problem like that.
But this one, and you don't expect it because like the setup. It starts and the main character Anna she's a nurse and like she's all annoyed the first scene. She's had like a double shift and like, oh, that person got bitten and then they're in ICU. That's weird.
I like how subtle I forgot how subtle it was. I mean nowadays it's not as subtle as you'd think, but back then I mean like, and you hear like a news report about like blah 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 and
violence. Random.
And when she goes home later, there's a news report that's also going off about blah, 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 and they're not paying attention to it. They just kind of turn it off. And like I was like, oh, I forgot. Like that's actually a lot more like world building than you'd think. Like sometimes zombie movies just don't even say anything.
Like
the next day, they just start off, or you're in the middle of the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always like that weird time of what's happening. Some people are getting sick, but we're not.
Patient zero situation where you see it from the beginning. I don't mind either. Like being thrust in the middle, or I think I do like it better when you see it all happen. Like the world is still okay. But then it's not.
And people
people react.
And how they react and how they try to figure out what's going on. Where they're like, oh, what do you do with these things? Do you punch them in the face? Do you throw bad language at them? How do you defeat these things? And that's always fun
set it on fire.
To see. Yeah, exactly.
What I appreciated about her in the scene is that when shit goes awry, maybe it's because she's a nurse or I don't know what, like she's on the ball with it immediately.
She doesn't
take 1 second to like, maybe she's an ER nurse or something because like she's just like slam the door, grab the keys, like she's always one step ahead thinking of survival, and that's why she survives.
If you're an ER nurse, you can't hesitate. Like you're trained to not do it, or you have experience not to like hesitate when you see blood.
She was just like, oh, my husband gets up screaming, covered with blood, running at me. She's like, grab my car keys and lock myself in the bathroom immediately. Not like, honey, are you okay? Should I take your vitals? Like, absolutely not.
Let me expose my neck as I look at your vitals. Oh,
no. She's like, fuck no. She does make questionable choices later on. I'm not going to say she's perfect.
Yeah.
But, like, your introduction to her, and she's one of the main characters.
It's a strong introduction.
It's a strong, like... she's gonna make it. You know what I mean? She's not a fucking dumbass, which you see a lot of in zombie movies.
And there are dumbasses in this movie for sure.
She meets some dumbasses later on, and she fucks off. She gets away, from.
She gets away from all the hecticness, the busy lifestyle of running away from zombies that can run.
That can run after your car, super scary.
It is still kind of super scary. When her husband runs at her in like that opening scene, like, and he's screaming, and it's very overdone. Like the screech is like barely human. Yeah. But it's also kind of what still makes him a little bit more scary than your random shuffling zombies. I mean, they have their good points too, but very quickly she meets more and more survivors, including Nice Man.
Nice Man.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I think his name is Michael in the movie because we just watched it.
I don't remember.
I don't know this actor's name, but I have such a fondness for him. He's like the dad/husband in Medium. And that show was on for like 10 years.
So he was there.
Watched him with his wonderful calming voice And like even in this movie, he's like the voice of reason. He tries to like talk
Very
people down,
soft-spoken.
but not in like an annoying way, in like a respected way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like this man
And
his acting.
Ving Rhames shows up too as a tough but fair police cop.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other survivors. And where are they gonna go?
Let's all go to the mall. Let's all go. That's maybe why I love this movie just upon like even the original. I'm like, they're in the mall. It's like everyone they know is dead, but they're in the mall.
Because in the 70s, an interesting premise because malls were like starting to be a big thing back then.
Yeah.
And like one thing that just on the mall subject in itself is like some people like say that the Romero version had like all this imagery of zombies in the mall, and there was like a
social commentary.
Our
We're all
like,
brain dead consumers.
Yeah, that's fair to say, but like also
it's not wrong.
Also in this modern remake, they don't really have a scene like that, which I'm kind of glad because again, do some new things.
Yeah,
and
well, it did a lot of new things.
It had a lot of extra storylines. It had a lot of more interplay between all the characters. I kind of find, and the different like places that they come from in life. Like there's the asshole guy. God, what's his name? Do you remember his name?
Him too. He's the dad in fucking what is it? Modern Family.
And he's super nice in that.
He's like the biggest doofus dad. He's like the reason dad jokes are a thing.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean? And in this movie, which is what we first ever saw him, obviously, he was like the biggest jerk off.
That was my first introduction to him. I forget his name now. Such a dick.
Ty.
No. Damn it.
Sorry, sir.
What a dick.
Yeah.
And you also meet a bunch of other people that just kind of
come by later.
There's the old angry neighbor from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, who's also in Zack Snyder's Watchmen as like that guy that dies very early on. So Zack Snyder, of course, this is his first major motion picture. Before that, he was just making music videos and car commercials, which is what one of the commercials is on the TV when she's watching with her husband.
I read that. I didn't know, but...
And you know what? While I give Zack Snyder a lot of shit for some of the bad movies he's made, like...
I hate this guy.
Have you watched Sucker Punch?
I mean... Yes.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever watched. I hate it so much.
I have mixed feelings about that because it is.
We should watch that together.
Oh my god.
Not for this though.
It's a horror though.
It is. But this movie is like, I'd say like one of his best because there's a certain style to it.
Exactly.
You can see things, not all the time, but like when I say see things like fighting and whatever. But it is very quickly paced, but there is a certain style about it, and like I think the movie like benefits from it.
Well, yeah, like the montages and the music he uses, and the
like he overdoes that in all of his other movies, but it absolutely works here. Like it's hilarious when he uses the "Down with the Sickness"
because it's fresh, it's new. Like later on, again, people are going to copy or remake zombie movies, and it's just. If he did this type of thing now, we'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But it really was so new at the time, that...
with everything that works, and I still think the movie overall is still really entertaining. Like, nothing... As dickish as Dickman is, no one is worse than... What's her face? Red-headed girl that does the graffiti... that helps out Zero and literally destroys the group with her ineptitude.
With chips! Yeah, no one's worse than her. Like, you feel bad because her dad dies. Spoilers. But, she's, oh god. Okay, so wait, no, there's a first little group of survivors and that show up, and there are some other dickhead security guards with power. One of them redeems himself, the other one...
Like there's three security guards. Yeah. One is a dick, one is a normal dude, and one's like beyond dick.
Yeah.
And
an incel.
Yeah, like it's
kind of like
watching it back then. I'm like, oh man, this dude. Oh, this is go away heat.
Yeah.
Please leave the movie. Like he never does anything. Whereas CJ is a very like Walking Dead type character.
Yeah.
Like he has an arc.
He does.
I was surprised.
He has a redemption arc.
Yeah, and I was surprised with him. I'm like, wow, that's a really good zombie movie character. But yeah, more survivors come in, like you said.
Well, before that, they have to decide. Like I said, Ving Rhames really wanted to go to this other area. He's like, we're just going to stop here at the mall, regroup, and I want to go. And this other group comes, and they're like, nah, we just came from there. Everyone's dead. So that's the moment they decide that we're just going to like bunker down. We're going to secure this. We're just going to live in the mall. Live the dream. Live the dream in the mall.
You mother, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up. Come on, get down with the dickness. Open up.
And they do that for a while. And they have fun. That, again, montage of them just like yucking it up in the mall.
Trying on shoes.
Interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
You know, making pornos. Whatever you want to do in the mall. There's just endless fun to be had. But then, wait, what happens that they're like, we don't want to stay in the mall anymore?
Oh, because Dick Guy says, I have a boat.
Yeah, so what do you want to do?
At the marina.
Get on my boat and go to the island. And they're like, yeah, you know, there's no one on those islands. That's a good idea. This is the mistake. You know, that people, I think, make, like, when you have something good going on, if you're not running out of food, you know.
Eventually they would run out of food, but...
Right, but...
Water would probably not. There's fountains everywhere, and the electricity's still on.
So. They're always just like, no, well, let's do it. Let's just leave the mall.
Yeah.
Let's just, like, what do? They decide to soup up these 2 mall shuttles.
And they're as they're doing that, they're like, yeah, what a great idea. But there's a guy across the street, a guy that runs the gun store, Andy, and he doesn't have any food, and they're like, okay, well, we gotta save him.
Yeah, we're gonna pick him up. We also need ammo, right? Because you need ammo to shoot the zombie.
We gotta give him some sandwiches, because you can't escape zombies unless you've got a sandwich in you. So, who's up to the task to send him the sandwiches? Chips.
Who hates that idea? Annoying redhead girl. Like,
no, Chips!
But my chips!
But the zombies can't detect Chips. They're not interested in Chips. Chips, though! We all love dogs. This dog is not a good dog. He's not a good boy.
Well, no, he isn't that. She had taught him how to, like, you know, fish, and he has this little harness, this little fanny pack of dog thing he has on him so that he could bring stuff.
Okay, it's not Chips' fault.
I mean, Chips didn't do anything wrong. No. She's a fucking dumbass. So they send Chips over, right? With like a sandwich and like some food. But somehow, this gun master of a man who's like survived this far doesn't like close the trap door behind Chips fast enough, and the zombie gets in and bites him.
Yeah. So, oh well, I guess that's not gonna work.
But before that, she's like, no, Chips is in trouble. Gotta go save Chips.
Gotta save the Chips.
So this crazy bitch grabs a fucking semi-truck and just like runs it across to the fucking, I don't know what she does, but she gets in there, but the guy's bitten, and his whole like, we gotta go now. Now is the time, because this bitch just fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah. So they all pile into their Dawn of the Dead action vehicles with rocket launcher and chainsaw action, and it's really cool. The buses that they make, like, it's a cool battle vehicle. It's very Mad Max.
Yeah.
And this is also like one of my favorite parts of the movie and one of my least favorite parts of the movie.
Really, favorite part?
Well, it's just because it's very exciting and it's kind of different than the original.
Mall.
Let's leave the mall.
Did you remember where you parked?
But it also has like one of those desks that just rubs me the wrong way. I remember talking to you about this.
While it was happening, you were getting so mad. I was like, calm down. I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but...
Okay, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it involves a chainsaw. It involves like the simple act of falling... Whoa, with a chainsaw, and I'm like, that's such a needless death, and I just feel bad. Like as a human,
it was
I'm just
unnecessary.
Like, that sucks so bad. Yeah. But they escape, and they're able to, you know, they lose a couple members along the way, obviously, and they get to the boat, and the movie just kind of ends there, sort of, and it's up to sort of the viewer, at least at first, about, oh, I sure hope they made it.
Well, I mean, he does a thing where he turns it into found footage during the credits.
Yeah.
Of, like, on this boat, they found a camera, so their voyage from, like, the dock at the marina to these islands, or they don't have food, they find some stuff, and then as they get there...
They get to some island.
You see...
Stuff.
What happened.
What happened.
And that kind of always annoyed me in general of the whole movie.
Because doesn't it make you feel like, what a waste of time?
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you could have survived at the mall, like, a little bit longer. Yeah. Or you could have done, like, you know, like, recon and gone, like, around and found food. But actually, no, there's a big horde of zombies always around the mall.
That's why
It's
they
like
need to
muscle
make the
memory
big
to
battle
like
trucks.
go to the mall, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could they have started a garden on that roof with some seeds? Possibly.
Well,
hydroponic.
There must have been like a gardening store with fresh soil.
Okay, maybe there was a Walmart nearby they could have driven to and like gotten supplies and like made an ecosystem.
At the end of the day, they needed to have something happen.
Yeah, it had to be like an event
regardless.
that triggered them to go somewhere else and like.
But with
whatever.
that, I want to talk about one specific moment. Is there any like outstanding moments that you wanted to mention here, like stuff that you liked or disliked, or did we all go through it?
I mean, we didn't talk about.
There's a whole Mekhi Phifer story.
I was gonna say what it was, but I don't know if that's like.
I think
2004 spoiler.
But I think that's a fun thing if people haven't seen this maybe. But Mekhi Phifer has a story that's really interesting. It's not something that's in the original movie. And it's fun. It goes places. It doesn't have anything to do with the plot overall. It's just like one of the main side stories because they can't just be living in the mall, having good times. There has to be something else going on. It's pretty cool. I always want to talk about how I love the intro with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
At the start with all the footage of like all the royalty-free footage of like anarchists in different places in the world that's filmed out of context and it has nothing to do with the zombie apocalypse. But I always think it's a really chilling, effective opening title scene. And again, it's Zack Snyder using music effectively, unlike Sucker Punch.
Okay.
Where there's a song playing for every emotion.
Don't come at me like I'm sitting here being a Sucker Punch apologist.
You won't be if we watch it again.
I was just mad because there was cute outfits and it could have been fun.
Yeah.
But it was bad.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not talking about
Sucker Punch. Why have we talked about Sucker Punch so much during this movie?
I don't know.
Review.
Anything else you want to add about like any parts you like? Or?
Trying to think.
Does it hold up? It holds up, yeah?
I think it does. I think as someone, I'm trying to think of someone watching it for the first time today, having seen, a bunch of other
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I
I think for someone that might have grown up, after the fact that this came out.
Or likes the essence of the aughts. You know what I mean? Because it's very... there's a juicy jumpsuit in there, a velour, combo that I was like...
I used to have one.
I did too.
Yeah, that's cute.
Is it juicy on your butt?
Yeah.
Mine was a knockoff, so it didn't.
But well.
Yeah, we can't all be high fashionistas.
We can't. But yeah, for me, I think going back to it, I wasn't really disappointed. It was still exciting. It was still shot really well. There's some characters that are really fun, and yeah, I had a good time watching it again.
Yeah, I think the acting was really great of all of them too. I think they all did a good job.
Yeah, I think so. It's it kind of really set the template for probably I forget when Walking Dead the comics were published.
I think so many years later.
But at least for the show, I mean, a lot of
that has more
set the precedent for it.
It doesn't it? I mean, Walking Dead is more of a very gritty aesthetic to it, a dirt aesthetic kind of.
Because everyone's always filthy.
Everything is more grainy and dirty, and this was more very bright and in your face kind of.
It was very bright, but I guess it's because Walking Dead is the apocalypse where it's been happening for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Whereas Walking Dead was brand new.
Yeah.
The zombies had just started to show up. You're like, hey, we're here now. So there's that, but
it's also kitsch factor where he always put little touches, little Easter eggs, little this person's name is an homage to the original.
Oh, right.
And Savini's a sheriff interviewed.
I forgot Tom Savini's.
There's all kinds of little things like that. It just go on IMDb and did you know trivia? And there's scroll down. And there's so much stuff. And I always appreciate that in a movie too, because it means
a little extra love.
Paying homage to the original and just I don't know, I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. So I guess that wraps up Dawn of the Dead. I recommend it. It just got added to Netflix, right?
Yeah, for this month. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Was it? I couldn't remember if it was or whatever, because we have a copy of DVD floating around somewhere. It's on Netflix. Absolutely recommend it for anyone that hasn't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
I think it holds up
quite
well.
Watch it again. And if it's your first time watching it, if you haven't seen it, let us know what you think.
Yeah, sure.
You have an invaluable perspective, because you've never seen it.
Very rare perspective.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that concludes another McMuscles Midnight Massacre, and we will see you again tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night at midnight.
With another, like, you know, I want to stay away from zombies. Like
probably
after
won't be a
this.
zombie
Probably won't be a zombie movie.